And our regular contributor, Nancy Helsel, is with us this morning.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good.
And look who you brought with you.
I know I brought my special friend with me from the Miracle League field.
Yeah, Paula. Paula, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm just lovely. See, I don't think your microphone is going to do for me what it needs to do. Say your name again.
Hello, Paula.
There you go. That was better. I guess you need to get a little closer to it today than at other times. But it's good to have you both with us. Nancy, you were here yesterday talking about Grocers Fight Cancer campaign.
Right. You got it right.
Yeah. And now you're here for an entirely different cause, but one that is just as worthy.
Oh, yeah, a cause that's really, really close to my heart, which is the Indiana County Miracle League field.
Yeah.
We are in our fourth year, approaching 5 next year for our field, and we're excited about that and starting to think about what we're going to do to celebrate our 5th year. So we're kind of here today to just bring you up to speed as to what we've been doing, where we've been going. Paula is our coordinator for the Miracle League field and some of the other groups at the YMCA. So we're just, we're happy to be here. We're thankful that you will let us come and talk about this, and it's so close to our hearts and a lot of other people's hearts, and to see the satisfaction on the kids' face and the smiles on their face, and the older players, how much fun they have and how much they like it, that it just makes your heart overflow every time you go to a game. And I guess sometimes I feel really bad when there's some people that have never ever been to a game or never got to see these kids play, and to know how much they really thoroughly enjoy it. So our Wednesday night adult league is our big one. I mean, you have to reserve a seat almost to come to it because there's so many people come to it, which is good.
Call Paula, she'll fit you in. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, but we're moving on. We're getting ready for our fall season, so I'll let Paula talk to you a little bit about that and tell you what's going on.
All right, Paula, take the stage here. What's going on in the fall?
So, obviously, our fall season is coming up this Saturday. Sorry. This Saturday, we start our youth league, and really it's just about the kids coming up and playing. We do have the IUP basketball team and the IUP baseball team coming over and helping us, so that'll be really awesome. And then all of our other volunteers are pretty awesome too. They help, they know where they need to be, and honestly, it's a life-changing experience. And then this coming Wednesday, so not today, next week, we have our adult league starting, and like Nancy said, oh my gosh, the adults, it's just as good as watching the youth play. They are so excited and everything. It's amazing. Yeah,
one of the things that has always fascinated me about that whole dynamic is that on Saturdays when you have the youngsters, they might never have had the opportunity to play, but they really don't know what baseball is all about. For some of these adults, it's been a lifelong dream. For decades of their lives, they've watched baseball. They've dreamed about what it would be like to get out on a ball field, and finally they get to do it. I would guess that it would be so meaningful to them.
It definitely would be. I have a lot of parents that come up to me and say, thank you so much for giving my son or daughter this opportunity, because it is so life-changing for not just the player, but the family as well. They get to see their child play.
Yeah.
The adults are amazing. Of course, they've watched baseball on TV, and so they get up there and they do the wind up and they do the finger to the air and they wipe off the base. I mean, they see it on TV and they want to do it too. And but I think I would have to say probably when you see somebody in a wheelchair, somebody that's blind, or somebody with just with a walker, trying to hit that ball and going around the bases because they want a home run, it just makes your heart get so big. And I could just cry right now because it's so meaningful to these people. They just love it. And getting a home run is the best thing they can have.
There you go.
They just love it.
Yeah, and the fact that they're able to get around the bases, the fact that there are so many people willing to help them to do that, and just the whole structure of Miracle League is really,
The volunteers,
to me, fascinating.
the volunteer. I mean, we couldn't do it without our volunteers. That's what it's all about, right, Paula?
Absolutely not. Our volunteers are such a big portion of our league, and obviously the players make it, but the volunteers make it even better.
Well, that being the case, is there the opportunity for someone to volunteer for the fall season?
Absolutely. We are always looking for volunteers. They can go to mloic.org, and that's our Miracle League page through the YMCA, and there's a registration link for volunteers. Just fill out the information and bring it into the Y, and they'll have you registered. You get an awesome shirt.
Like we have on.
There you go.
And you get an even more awesome opportunity to work with, youth and adults that you typically wouldn't work with.
Yeah, and if you're wondering about that website, it's the first letters in Miracle League of Indiana County.
Correct.
.org.
Yes.
Okay. So there are opportunities for folks to volunteer. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of your time, but boy, is it rewarding.
It really is rewarding, and Paula has done a fantastic job since she's come in to help us, and it's been a challenge for her, and I think that Paula has learned a lot, although she's involved in so many other things with children. But again, you step into a role and not realizing how much is really involved in it and how much it takes and how many people you need to help you out.
Yeah.
We're fortunate, to have Paula, and as we move on, trying to make help to make it grow. We're trying to reach out to more counties around to send their children, and it'll grow. It'll be good. Right now, down in Cranberry, Mike's field, they have 500 players.
Wow.
They're playing 7 days a week, and possibly going to start playing evenings because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they draw from a bigger area than we do, but just to go down there, Paula had the opportunity to be down there for a few days for their All-Star game, and she really learned a lot and found out what it really takes for volunteers. We can't do it without the volunteers, and that's what we need as people take over.
How surprising is it to you how quickly 4 years have gone by?
Very. As I sit back and look at things and think, we were out there raising money to get this field going. I can't believe it's been 4 years.
And 6 years when you think about actually getting the thing built.
Right, absolutely. And now my next goal is to build a playground for the children. That's a handicap playground for the kids to be able to, in between games or after games or even any time, to come and be able to get on this little playground that we want to build and give them something else that they can do that is suitable for them that they probably couldn't do if they went to a regular, playground area. Yeah. So that's my next big goal.
Have you started raising funds for that yet?
No, we have not started that yet. Hopefully, soon we'll be able to do that. And of course, when I do that, I'll be back to see you.
You bet. You bet. You better be, because by golly, that's something that is more than worthwhile.
I know. Yeah. It is. It's a great goal to try to reach, and we'll do it.
Terrific. Paula, as Nancy mentioned, you went to Cranberry and saw how they did things there. And each of those opportunities that people get to visit other Miracle League sites has to be a great educational opportunity. You get to bring some of the ideas that you see there back here, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It's very, very eye-opening. We are so small compared to them. And just walking out onto that field in general, it was so amazing seeing all these smiles and seeing not only our own players there, but players from different counties, different states, for that matter. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
But we have it right here in Indiana County. And I don't think that we can go much further without crediting, again, the YMCA for everything that they do to make this a reality. But Nancy talked about volunteers. It certainly does take a ton of volunteers, but it takes people with willing hearts like those at the YMCA.
It takes a lot of willing hearts, and it doesn't. And a lot of the people are just people who have it in their heart that want to do this, whether they belong to the Y or they don't. They just want to be able to help in whatever way. So we're very fortunate that this year the Elks are going to hold the Christmas party for our kids.
Oh, okay.
So they're planning that. They're taking it over. And so I think it'll be a fun time for the kids to do that.
Yeah.
So it's people like that. We're getting a donation tonight from the Eagles, Paula?
On Saturday from the Eagles.
From the Eagles, right.
Oh.
They're going to give us a donation.
Terrific.
How nice is that?
Yeah.
So that's how we get our money, and we're going to have some fundraisers and those kind of things. So,
and in terms of volunteers at the field, we probably need to emphasize, Paula, you mentioned IUP basketball, IUP baseball going to be volunteering some of their time. It's a great idea for organizations, particularly organizations with young people in them, to volunteer as a group, and certainly that is an option as well as individuals.
Absolutely. I reached out to the Indiana High School to see if they wanted to help volunteer, and I do have some students who are looking to work with individuals with disabilities, and that'll broaden their horizons, but they're bringing their friends that have never worked with anybody with a disability. So it's really rewarding in that way too. I'm over at IUP all the time, and you walk around as I wear my Miracle League shirt, and people ask me, what is the Miracle League and how can I help? And they come and they help, and from then on, their life has changed. So anybody who wants to volunteer, please come out. Your life will definitely be changed.
Nancy, there you go. But one of those big sandwich boards for Paula.
Yeah.
I could read it front and back as she's coming and as she's going and learn about it.
Well, in relation to what she said, if we can get the students to come and help, it's an eye-opener for them, for a lot of these kids who just never saw anything like this. And I've been reaching out to my church to have the youth come, and I'd like to see some of the other churches get involved and bring their youth out. And I think it's just important that these kids, if they just come to one game and see what's going on, it'll benefit them so much, in a Christian way. So, those are the kind of things we're trying to do. And Paula's really been good reaching out to a lot of different places and to the schools. And as school with school going on now and we're getting out to it, we're going to hopefully be able to do a little bit more as we get into the spring semester next year.
Sometimes the life that is changed is not just the one of the child who's being helped.
Exactly.
To the helper himself.
It's exactly.
All right. All right, ladies. I'm losing my voice here, so one of you is going to have to take over the rest of the program.
Okay, we can do that.
Hang on a second. There we go. That's much better. But thanks for coming in this morning. Again, Miracle League of Indiana County, MLOIC.org.
Correct.
Right.
That's where you need to go.
Or if you want to call Paula, even at the Y, you can call and ask for Paula. Leave a message if she's not there. She'll answer any questions you have. Some parents out there with children who need to be get involved in this. Maybe they have some questions, maybe they don't quite understand how it works. And we do have scholarships for those who cannot pay the fee to play. So we can help anybody out that might need it, but they think, well, you know what, I just don't have that extra money to let my child do that. We'll help them out.
Take care of it.
Right.
Take care of it.
And talking about players, we did get 5 new players just this week, so that's really awesome.
Cool.
But we are always open to having new players come in. So if you're hesitated about it, because we do start on Saturday, please feel free to come out. You can meet with me. We can talk and everything. We are having a meeting tonight at 5:30 over at the Miracle League field just to get everybody accustomed to the field, go through some of the rules and everything. So if you're available and want to volunteer or even have a child that wants to play, please come out.
Miracle League of Indiana County. Kids season starts Saturday. Adult season starts next Wednesday, a week from today. And the Miracle League goes on. Ladies, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.